We're back with another episode of Can Stefan fab parts for his Turbo KMiata. So today we're going to work on a catch can because I haven't found one that fits really well. So we're going to weld our own. So I used to run one of these, which is just your typical Amazon. I think it's like 12 bucks. It does the trick. It works, but it doesn't do what I want it to do. So at least not as well or as cleanly as I'd like. I always had it mounted here off of this bolt, and it worked well. I had a line running there. I had this line running from the PCV. So I'm going to use this location again, but I'm going to make my own, and it's going to be a box more than a can. So I bought some sheet aluminum, which you can see right there. And I took some measurements. So this is 6 1/4 wide between like the narrowest point, 3 3/4, 3.75 inches deep, and then 4.5 inches to kind of right underneath my master cylinder brace. So I'm going to build a box or a rectangle that fits that space, and I'm going to weld on these guys. If you saw the episode where we worked on the other valve cover, I added 2 of these to the valve cover. So I'm going to put 2 up top, kind of on the side right around here. Try to not, be in the way of anything, but right around here. And then I'll put 1 on the bottom so that if I ever need to drain it, I can take the box out, unscrew a cap, and tip it to drain everything out. Should be pretty straightforward. I've never done butt welds like this before, so it might be a little interesting. Hopefully I don't totally ruin it. I'm going to be adding a 6AN weld-on bung for the PCV as well. And then on top, I don't have the breathers yet, but I'm going to be welding on 2 pipe extensions. And then I'm going to slip a breather filter over the top, kind of like these guys here. Just, they are 1 1/4 on the bottom. The key component to a breather setup is that you want to vent all the crankcase pressure, especially now that we're adding boost, and you're going to have higher crankcase pressure. You want to vent it all out to the atmosphere, and if you have a smaller vent outlet than you have an inlet, you're not going to be able to get all your pressure out. So I bought these like big, they're K&N, same filter head size, but the inlet port is 1 1/4 inch, and those will slip right onto that pipe I just showed you. So they're not here yet, but I can do everything else. I can weld the pipe on and whatnot. Those will sit up on top like 2 little smokestacks. And for now, so since I already measured it, we're gonna cut this guy up. I got totally hosed on shipping like usual from McMaster Car. But this is a 1/16 inch 6061 aluminum sheet. It's 18 by 18. As you can see, I've drawn out 3 of these 6 boxes I need. So I need 2. This is gonna be the bottom, top, 1 of the sides. I'm gonna do another side, and then I'll need the front and the back. So I'll probably have enough to do 2. If that were to, if I screw up, I have enough to try again. So I'm gonna get to chopping these up. I'll put you guys on a tripod so you can watch me make a bunch of aluminum shards. And the tricky part is gonna be jigging it up so that it's nice and square and flush, but I think I have some ideas. Here we go. Took a little bit of shaving. I guess my by hand driving through the bandsaw is not as straight as I thought it was. So I had to kind of play with them all, and I ended up stacking. So I have 3 different pieces, but 6 pieces total. So 2 of them are all the same. So I ended up stacking them together and running them on the sander for most of the time to make sure they were square and flat and all the same size. Because if I have ones that are different sizes, the box is going to not be very nice looking. So I think to jig it up so that I can weld it, I have some square like box channel of aluminum that I just got from Lowe's. Yeah, a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna clamp it this way and I'm gonna clamp it that way, and then I can line up the edges and get a nice tight fit up that's not gonna move when I start welding. So gonna set you guys up. You can watch me suffer while I do that. Maybe there's a better method, I just don't know it yet. So let's see what happens. Bit of a walk around. So I've never done this kind of like, I guess, butt weld where it's a corner. So it took a little practice, but I think it came out all right. This etching will go away with a scuff pad. You can see some places I kind of struggled. This is the front. I noticed I might have to do some massaging or in the car. There's a nut welded into the body that I must not have noticed or something. So right now it's really hot, so I'm not gonna do much with it, but let's see if I can. So I don't have a bottom on it because I want to drill the holes for these guys and that pipe over there in the top. This is really hot. So that way I can clean all the metal shavings out before I weld the bottom in. I'm gonna have to drill another hole for the 6AN, which I haven't even ordered yet, so I might just mark that and drill that now. I can measure a 6AN bung and know how big the hole is gonna be. So once this cools down, I'll set it in the car, figure out where the lines are gonna go. I know the two breathers have to go on top, so that's pretty simple. I'm just gonna put them like there. I'm thinking the 10ANs are gonna come right in here, or one's gonna come on the side and one's gonna come in the front, but I think both of them here, you know, 1, 2, and the 6AN will be over here, and the drain will be down here. So it's gonna have all sorts of holes in it. But yeah, I guess we'll see. The drain one might be kind of redundant, but because I could just undo the lines, take it out, and tip it on its side. So I don't know, who knows? It'll look okay with a capped one there, so I'm probably gonna powder coat the whole thing black, and you won't even see it. So let's drill some holes, hopefully not burn ourselves, and weld some bungs on. Not my best work. I was having a lot of trouble getting the heat to go between the two of them. It'll obviously hold, it's like rock solid, but you can see there's no hole drilled, so I'm gonna weld this one on in place, no hole, and then afterwards I'm gonna drill the hole. It works better that way because I'm not trying to weld right up to a lip, and then if I do that, the lip will just get blown away immediately with the amount of heat I'm using. So doing this, it was a tip I learned while watching a bunch of other YouTube videos. So drill the hole afterwards, and then, you know, weld first, drill later. So I'm gonna weld the other one on, we'll drill those out, and then we're gonna see where we want the 10AN bungs. So here's the box. I had to shorten it a little bit, and my bandsaw apparently doesn't cut straight at all, but whatever. So this guy will go right in here, just like that. And we'll build brackets later that'll hold it into this piece. But for now, I'm going to put the 10AN fittings one on top of another right here. That way I can just run the lines straight over, and it'll have 2 little breathers on it. It'll clean, and I'll probably put the 6AN guy right here and just run a 90 off of this hose. You cut this guy down, put a 90 on, and that'll be a pretty clean little setup there. And I'm gonna put the drain down here on the bottom. So let's do that. We'll mark those holes out and weld on some bungs, just like right here and one over here. Ignore the heater burning in the background. It's pretty cold in here right now. So I know I said always weld and then drill, but these 10AN bungs have a little recessed lip that makes this fit really nice and holds it in place. So I drilled this out with a step bit, and these guys sit in here perfectly. And then I'll just weld the bead around. I just gotta be a little careful that I don't burn through this edge. So I'm gonna hit this with some acetone, and then we're gonna weld these guys on. Should look sweet. Oh, I gotta drill the last hole for the drain on the other side. So I got them two and a half of them welded on. This one, I'm too close to the edge here, and it's starting to eat away. So what I'm gonna do is make the bottom plate now. I'm gonna drill, I don't know if I'm gonna drill that hole, because I can always flush it out with like acetone or water or something like that once I drill the 6AN hole. So I'm just gonna make the bottom plate, get that welded on like I did up here, and then I'll finish welding this last bung on. And then for tonight, for me, that'll be it. And then tomorrow I'll come back and make the brackets that hold the sides on, and hold it into the car. But let's get it finished up. We'll put it in to see what it looks like, and then yeah, I'll pick you guys back up tomorrow when I finish it. Done. It fits for now. It's done, I guess. Here it is, I guess, in its spot. It's super hot right now. I had to put it in there with pliers. Hopefully that rubber line doesn't melt. So this is going to be kind of its final resting place. And then tomorrow when I build brackets, I have some kind of strip steel that you saw when I built the intercooler mount. I'm gonna build a bracket that's gonna come over, down, and over. And I'm gonna use this threaded boss right here. And then over here, I'm just gonna build a little L bracket. Boop, comes over, bolted into there. And this thing should be like perfectly fixed in place. And then once the breathers show up, which I think is like Monday or Tuesday, I'll cap them on here. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. And this thing should be done minus paint.
One eternity later.
So I didn't actually end up recording the welding of the brackets on the side of the catch box, catch can, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't really exciting, so I figured, it took me maybe 10 minutes to do. They don't look that great, but they're good enough. So I ended up with pretty much a free day of nothing to do today. So we are on the way to James' shop again. We were there in the last episode, and we're going back there now because James has a powder coating oven. And he's gonna powder coat my intercooler piping, and I'm hoping I bought enough powder that we can powder coat the catch can as well. I think it would look sweet, powder coated black with like the silver AN bungs on it, and hopefully there's enough. So we'll see when we get there. We're gonna sandblast them real quick, and then I'll show them kind of hanging up in the oven, and the process of spraying it, and then Probably when we get back to my house, I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all done. So hopefully it looks really cool. I'm not quite sure what the powder I bought looks like. It's called Stone Black from Prismatic Powders. It's supposed to be kind of like a wrinkle without being extremely wrinkle. I don't want gloss and I don't want wrinkle, so hopefully it's somewhere in between. We'll see when we get there, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. But for now, you know the drill, half hour, pick up the camera when I get there. So sadly, this is going to be the end of the episode. I got the filters on Monday and they don't fit. So they fit the pipe, but let me show you. So you can see probably already what my issue is. One does not fit next to the other. They fit really well on there, and this actually fits really well in the engine bay. So you've got your 6AN in the side, your two 10ANs here, and your drain down there, and your breather ports, brackets, everything. I'll cover that at the end. After working on it, some things kind of came to me, and after talking to some people, got some ideas of things I wanted to change. So I drew it up in SolidWorks, and I included a baffle plate on the inside where I can put like stainless steel above or between the filter and where the AN bungs come out. That way, you know, there's no oil shooting straight out of the filter and it catches all the contaminants, and it should just be whatever you want to call the air that comes out of the crankcases coming out of those holes. So that gets here tomorrow. I'm not going to weld it up for this episode because it is literally Thursday night and I got to edit this. Well, I'm in the middle of editing it right now. So I'll show that probably in the next episode when that's done. Yeah, and the other thing, if you caught the mistake earlier, if any of you guys caught it, you'll probably know what I'm going to talk about. The top and bottom AN ports was a mistake because now the most capacity the catch can hold is the bottom AN port. So the new one I've ordered, it has no holes in it, so it's just a bunch of plate aluminum that I have to weld together that I design and just send out to, it's called sendcutsend.com. I'm going to build the box, and I'm going to drill the holes side by side. One of them will go right around here, and one of them will go here. So it'll just be below this port here. So it'll still be kind of low, but I'll have a bit more space than normal. Or I'll put it on the side. I'm not sure. I have some options. I can put it over here and run a straight feed or a 45 feet out or something like that. Nothing's set in stone, so we will see. And then, yeah, so this guy, for you NA KMiata guys, there's no good intake solution, so I've been working on this for another buddy. It is a lot of pie cuts, but it is going to fit a filter that's on its way. It'll be here tomorrow. Should cap right on the end here. And then you can run, because like I was running some weird U-turn intake thing. This should hopefully solve that issue. If you guys want one, let me know. I'm more than happy to make another one. It doesn't take too much time, so it won't be too expensive, but we'll see. So as far as next week's episode goes, it's going to be a little different. I'm at a standstill right now while I wait for some parts that are being machined at the moment. So I'm going to transition to working on something for Dylan's car. I'm going to vent his valve cover so that essentially he can do the same thing I'm doing with his Miata, with his BP engine. Sorry if the camera's shaky, I'm freezing out here. So I'll show the process on how to vent a valve cover properly for a BP engine and welding on the bungs and all that sort of stuff. And then that'll get sent out to go powder coating. That'll get sent out to powder coating. But yeah, so next week is going to be me working on stuff for Dylan's car. And then hopefully the week after that, we'll be able to put my transmission in and start working on the downpipe. So till then, thanks for watching. You know the deal. Like, comment, smash that subscribe button down below. And as usual, I'll see you next weekend.